Hey everyone, how's it going? Been a lot of questions about Dahu ski boots and um, different comparisons between them and Apex and just regular boots. I thought I'd make a little bit of a video here to give my experience. I'm not a salesperson, no way connected with the company or anything else. Just happened to have a couple pairs and been using them for a number of years, and thought I'd let you know what I think about them. My wife and I first found out about Apex and these non-traditional boots on a ski trip out to Snowmass back in 2014. We were on a shuttle bus from Snowmass over to Aspen, and there was a ski instructor that had these really weird looking boots on. They kind of looked like snow boots, but he had these hard shell things that went with them, and he had skis. So my wife has often long had circulation issues in her legs, just your typical cold toes and just not being comfortable in your boots all day. And so her conversation with him, he's a ski instructor, wearing them every single day, nothing but good things to say about him, and she was sold. So that next spring or fall, she ended up buying her own pair. She's been skiing them ever since. I think that fall or winter we went to Whistler, Blackcomb, skied the Big Mountain. A year later we were in, did the Breck, Vale, Keystone route over there, and she really loves them. I probably should clarify, what kind of, I wouldn't call us expert skiers by any means. We're solid blue, maybe an occasional black out in Colorado. Obviously, around here in the Midwest, where we live in Minnesota, any black is not a problem here for us. So, that's always been one of the questions, right? Can these boots perform, at the same level as you get out of a traditional boot? Probably talk a little bit more about that, but your intermediate, high intermediate, maybe advanced skier, we haven't had any issues or complaints in our big mountain ski trips. So a couple of years later, when it came time for me to do a little boot shopping to replace my old college boots from back in the day, I was interested in what she had just because she liked them so much, and looking at different reviews online and reading about Apex, I stumbled across this new company called Dahu, which is an Italian company and hadn't been in the US until probably 2018, 2019. And they were selling through a couple of online outlets. And I picked up a pair from Moose Jaw. And a couple of reasons why I decided to give them a shot. One was my wife that enjoyed her two-piece boot. On our ski trips out west, it seemed like we were often ending up in some sort of place where your condo or place to stay was not quite on the ski hill, let's just say that. So you're walking down the street, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks in your ski boots, and she's just trucking along, no problem in hers, and I'm doing a little penguin walk, and your feet are almost sore before you start skiing for the day. So that was a piece. The other one was we started family, so a couple little kids, and starting to take my 4 or 5-year-old son at that point in time to various ski hills and do skiing. The idea of being able to pop these on at home, drive in your ski boots to the local hill, and make it a lot easier carrying their stuff, my stuff, not having to worry about putting my boots on and their boots all at the same time. If you've ever skied with little kids, it gets to be a little bit of an exercise until they start to be able to do their own stuff. So a bunch of those factors is what I really sold me on giving them a try. And So the summer of 2019 is when I picked up my first pair. Not that one, uh, but these here, which would be 5 years ago, and these have 5 years of wear and tear on them now, so you can see how they're holding up. But uh, I really wanted to invest in something that was going to work better. I had become a better skier by that point in time, and realized that my original boots I bought in college were a size too big for me. Pretty common for first-time boot buyers to end up in something a little bit larger. I've been in rentals for many years, and you're like, I don't want my feet to hurt, so you're trying them on, and you're like, oh yeah, this size here, this feels really comfy, right? And so I had that same problem. My original ones were size 30. These are a 29. They fit, I'd say, probably pretty true to what you should be wearing. But likewise, I want to make sure that really the performance fit was right for me as I was trying them out, and I wasn't super happy with the insole that they came with, which this guy here. It's kind of to me it felt like I was standing in high heels, which I later discovered that my original boots I think didn't have very much forward lean, and these are a little more probably appropriate in forward lean. So it wasn't the insole; it was really just a better boot. And I decided to splurge and do the custom footbed just to really make it the perfect fit for me. The other thing that I ended up doing, even with the footbed, you'll notice there's no place in the front here to strap down or tighten down your toes. You get one here in your ankle area in the cuff, but if you need your toes to be tighter, I ended up putting in a shim in the very bottom underneath the footbed, which they'll do that for you in your fitting. But basically, it's more or less just not a piece of cardboard, but just a flat, thin piece that goes into the very bottom, raises your foot up, and then your foot comes up, and that tightens all around the toe box there. So really was able to get them dialed into what I thought was the perfect fit for me, even with all that wearing all day, never a problem. Super comfy, and kind of wanted to save them for the big adventures out west in the mountains, and keep using my college chunky roughed up boots around here for the day-to-day stuff. So the first trip that I had on them was actually up to Lutsen in northern Minnesota, March 2020. And ironically, that's also the one and only time I've ever seen somebody in a lift line or ticket line actually wearing them. And I tapped him on the shoulder. I'm like, hey, nice boots, man. And he said, yeah, his son-in-law got them for him for his birthday, and he really, really loved them too. That year at Lutsen was one of those, I think it was 10 below, and I'm not sure, maybe my toes would have been cold in my old boots too, but if anything, usually not a problem, but if it's 10 below, maybe even less than 0, my toes do get a touch cold. Even with that shim in there, I've managed to get the hand warmer up in there in my toe box if you take the shim out, and then you get a little bit more room. But again, that's just a really cold trip. Seems like you're getting lucky sometimes with that. The next winter we went out to Big Sky, Montana. And the first day or two out there was just freezing too, 10 below at 9 o'clock in the morning when we started. But the next couple days were 10, 20, and absolutely no problems at that point. So only needed something to warm my toes the first couple days. Again, so Big Sky. Another question that comes up is, don't they get full of snow, right? I'll take this apart. And you can see in the shell isn't solid all the way around. So you've got the inner boot that kind of sticks through in some of these gaps here. That was done for weight, I believe, just to make the overall package as light as possible. It still has strength where it needs to. But yeah, people ask, well, don't you get snow in your boots from that? Our trip out to Big Sky, we had, I think the last day we had a good 18-inch powder drop, and it's just not a problem. The inner boot also has, they're tight. It's easier when you have your foot on the inside. But that just shows you how good that fit is in there. The tongue here actually has a membrane that goes up the side here too, where even if you did have snow down here where they were exposed, it's not going to get in there, so not an issue. Other questions that come up, how easy are they to put on? So let's do it. You can do it either when it's still in the shell or take them out of the shell. Typically, I do mine out of them, but I've done both. Like I said, a lot of times I'll dry it in them. There is a lace that is very long and laces all the way down to the toe. You pull on a centerpiece here to really loosen them up. Pull on that. Now you have this long lace left over that you'll wrap around your fingers. Tuck that in the lace locker, as they say, and now you're just ready to rock and roll if you're walking or if you're driving. I will put that on in a second, but let's do the other side in the shell. So you're usually standing. Bang, line up. There you are. To put the shell on after the fact actually gets to be a little bit more interesting. I tried to do it once in my ski. Definitely don't do that. Your ski without the brakes on will go sliding down the hill. Basically, don't be afraid to stomp and kick a little bit. You can get it started there usually pretty good. I'll usually just tap my toe, get it in wrestling, and then when you pull up on the rear, that's going to get it in. Same thing. Fold up. Ready to rock and roll. So, pretty simple, pretty easy, nice and comfy. Even actually walking around with the shells on, there's just something about the shape. I mean, they did a great job making the shape of the boot, the shape of my foot. My feet aren't like super wide to begin with. There's measurements you can find online for the last sizing. but I feel like probably your typical average and maybe even a little bit more than average person have no issues in there. They're also heat moldable. You can get them punched out a little bit if you do have a little wider foot, but definitely find a professional boot fitter for that. Okay, and taking them off is basically no different than anything else. I'll do it same way here. Where take this one on the shell before taking off. And I rarely do this anymore, like on the hill, unless it's a really long walk to get back to the car. Again, they're comfy to walk around in, so taking them off isn't really that much of a value unless it's a significant walk. And then it seems like my kids are always halfway to the car if I try and take them off on the hill, but it is a little bit. Again, they are in there just with a perfect fit. It's amazing how good they made the exoskeleton. So to get them off, found the best way for me. If I'm standing, to try and get that back heel against something that you can push on. If you're sitting in the snow somewhere, just need to really kind of have something that you can lift and there. Like I said, that's the hardest thing, honestly, of the whole deal, is if you want to take the shells on and off, just practicing, and I recommend doing it before you go up to the ski hill the first time. They're on there good, but likewise, this one without taking the shell off. Yeah, leave the back up. Do need to open up the front like that. Yes. Boom. Nothing to it. Get this one out of here. Again. Probably just drive home in them, but walk to your place of residence, and you're done. So, yeah, I have all kinds of good stuff here. I'll make a video specifically for Apex versus Dahu, and if there's any other questions, throw them in the chat. We can make some other videos about more specific details about different kinds and whatnot. But I did. Oh yeah, what's the story with this? Last spring, we had a sale on their website. Like I said, I was usually saving these for my big important trips, and I was like, they had a really good sale, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick those up and stop wearing my old junky ones entirely. And like I said, I wear these every single day now just because they're in my everyday boots, if you can call it. And got a second pair because I love them that much. These are 135 flex instead of 120 in here. They are definitely noticeably stiffer. The tongue area here is a different kind of plastic. And unfortunately, I actually haven't skied on them yet, so I can't tell you too much more than that. But that's what the story is there. So I'll wrap this one up for now, and maybe have a couple other detail specific videos. But yeah, let me know if you have any other questions. Thanks.
Yeah, Black Diamond.